I'm going to drop the Mr. from my name in 69 more work days. I'm changing my first name back to Mark. I'm a retiring teacher soon, so the Mr.'s going to go. But at any rate, I get paid to bend people's wills. I mean, today in biology class, we were learning about DNA replication, which nobody in their right mind wants to learn about. But I had to bend wills to do that. I also coached for many years, which, you know, sports requires strong willpower. I coached wrestling. Wrestling's unique because winning and losing is completely you. There's no one else. Yeah, there's a team, but they're not out there with you when you're getting your ass kicked or when you're kicking ass. It's just you and the other opponent. Well, I started a new teaching job at a school here in York County in the early 1990s when Kurt Cobain was still alive. And I was coaching junior high wrestling, and the senior high team needed a 103-pounder. Well, we had a ninth grader who was going to wrestle 95 or 100. Perfect. Now, he was not like super awesome. He's just a normal guy. And we got together as a coaching staff, and we were going to ask Dave if he wanted to move up to varsity. Dave was a great, great guy. And of course, he said, yeah. So Dave, as a freshman, moves up to varsity. He didn't win a single match. He had some forfeits, but they don't count. Any wrestler never counts their forfeits. So as a freshman, he got his butt kicked. On junior high, he would have been kicking butt. But Dave, being the strong-willed guy he was, 10th grade year comes back, has a great season. His 11th grade year, he was one win away from getting the States. So I'd spent 3 years with him now. His senior year, I took an assistant coaching position at York College. So we only talked, and we talked a lot because he still considered me his coach. Turns out he applied to York College of Pennsylvania. So I got to coach him in college also, which is very unusual. And Dave's freshman year in college, I remember we were at the national qualifying tournament. And as a freshman, you don't know anyone. And honestly, you really don't give a shit either. He was wrestling a returning All-American. I'm like, Dave, just go out, man. Do your best. He went out and beat this kid. Unbelievable. He just punched his ticket to the national tournament. And I got to spend 3 more years coaching Dave. We became friends. I mean, when you spend that kind of time with someone, especially in that kind of environment, not only do you win and lose by yourself in wrestling, but you deny your will to eat also. It's unfortunately part of the sport. So you have to have a pretty strong will. So we became friends. We became fishing buddies, which was great. So many times we would go down to Woodbine. I know at least one person in here knows where that's at. Just south of the Brogue on Muddy Creek. And we would fish down there. And we had the best fishing trips and just all kinds of stories from there. We would even maybe camp out down there, which you weren't allowed to, but maybe we did. I don't know. One day we were down there fishing. It was Mother's Day weekend. And Dave falls in. He has on chest waders, and he starts going down. That's a really quick way to drown. So I grab a hold of him, and he pulls me in too. So our waders are full of water. It's a sunny, warm day in May. We strip down to our undies, and we're fishing on this rock in our undies, and our pants and stuff are drying out. Just great fishing stories we have from down there. Dave eventually gets married, and he's a Baltimore City police officer. He's in their drug task force. He saw some really nasty stuff, and it hurt him. But this is a strong kid. The thing about wills that I don't understand is Sometimes they go wrong. On February 17th, 2014, Dave took his life. I don't understand. All he needed was a will to push 3 numbers on his cell phone, and he could have gotten help. But instead, his will sent him a different direction. I don't understand what happens, but I guess that's what trauma will do, mixed with chemicals. And his will confused him, and he took the wrong way. So I'm imploring people, if you're ever there, 988, have the will to dial those numbers and say, help me.